it's right here in office. Okay. Yeah. April. Okay. Hold it out. Okay. I don't have a number on my computer. And Myers at the time. All right, Shabbat Shalom. And welcome. We will to the service because we can't control it. The environmental control is totally on the fence, and I don't know why the heater is on, and it is late July, but here we are. You know, I'll invite us to go ahead and get started, and, we'll hope that, maybe we'll add something. So I'm ready to Brian, we'll turn to page 103 and on to 104 for your concept shop card, we'll answer, to each of the blessings for ABC. 103 and 104. You see it continuing visually about 104. And to page 106 at the first carrot. Into some for Shabbat on page 112. Page 120 for something. Morning, page 121, invite all who are mourning or observing yard sites. Your presence to do so provided, page 121. Yitzkadal, the Yitzkadash, Shemei, Rabba, the Allah, the Brab, the Rute, the Amnik, Malkute, the Chaye Phone, Uyome Phone, Chaye, the whole Beit Israel, Ba'agala, Uizman, Kariv, the Imru, Amen. Yehi, Shmei, Rabba, the Barak, Leila, the Amaya, Yitbara, the Yistaba, the Yitpa'ar, the Yisroman, the Yitnaseh, the Yitzadar, the Yitzaleh, the Yitzalal, Shemei, including Shah, the Rizul, the Ela, the Kol, Mirfata, the Shirata, the Fata, the Nakamata, the Amirat, the Alma, the Ibru, Amen. The Hey, Mama, Rabba, Mishamaya, the Chaim, Alinu, the Al Israel, the Ibru, Amen. Ose, Shalom, Nimrama, Tuya, Hasei, Shalom, Alinu, the Al Israel, the Ibru, Amen. And let us also please rise, we turn to Baruch Shamar, page 122. He didn't turn to, actually, page 136. Psalm 150, page 141. All right, we turn to the Sirat Sayam, page 143 on to 140. Be seated, turn to Nishmat and take his prayer for the Shopper service, page 145 on page 146. Nishmat, oh, by the refuge, anyway, 3 lines from 5 on page 146. Well, I'm Shabbat July, for more question for Shabbat July, so keep our leaders keep in mind. The whole provide change for the show. I always have to look to that. I have to know what you get off. I'll be more than in town, I don't know, but I'm off. I'll tell us I don't say, I'll keep it around the east side. Show play, I love it, I don't know, she's in a whole lot of places, I think the little family you. Little nothing, I'll never show gas, it's like a little wind out there. The bar at now, and probably so cold, you make you the beach, the clothes, I need when you shine. I got my shoes as well. It's right, 148. The bob, I don't think she raising up, but they'll say I want to be. That's all because I should be a I mean, oh, I told you that one thing would be Israel. I'm allowing more family to do on my head. For a piece of me, for a piece of me, don't say, we don't have to be the last week to show. We're in the days of your time. People have to look at my father, we're on the Alma, we do on my head. Standing for bar, 148. Seated, be funded. For lines of the bottom, page 158, continuing to Ella Dawn on page 151. In perfect heart of mine, the God, there was a heart, heaven's kept the heart, calling, he goes to my feet, he don't never follow Jesus. He has me. Ela adoro a ti, para ti con el chamado, aleola, na una todo a mi cara, as a Ferrari goes, so we worship our Master. With the dark, we not forget, so I would put and kneel, approaching the character. The lady is so big, no, not oh, si me aima return for none, the air and hollow, you know, keep me so bother me, and also, para manchas, I drop for the run, baby, to run,
No, my sister's here, but she's working on something else right now.
Is that in the kitchen or something?
No, she's like on the other one over there.
Okay.
Do you need anything?
Well, I was thinking that maybe we have to have some cans. And if you could put some cans in the sanctuary, that would probably help make it a little cooler. People having a hard time either. We do have a.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of problem when it comes to the air conditioning.
Right, this all there. We do have these, you know, I think they're full and they're white. Maybe there's one or two of those. If you put it in here, I hope. You just need to put it like from there, that might help people.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
I don't know where they would do this.
Yeah, I don't really know where they are. I'm really nice to see them.
Well, even if they still have them, they had them on the here a couple of years ago. You also leaving up. You can use that. You can use that without, you can use like the. You don't want to do that.
Page 154 for Ahava, gather together the four corners of our Talmud furnace and the hill corners of the earth gathered in the third paragraph. At the top of the page or at that third paragraph, we'll go straight from Ahava into the Shema and its paragraphs on page 155 and 156. So page 154 through 156.
The screen closest to it's like finished, so I cannot see anything. But yeah, there are indications. There's like the fan. Yeah, in case it doesn't work. No, yeah, you do look like a screen over here. Yeah, that's the thing. I will look at the sponsor for the other Voy a medir la conexión para que en fin, ya le puse, y ya le intenté hacer un poquito para entonces, esto era un problema que Jessica quería arreglar y entonces esta semana pero no podía. Pero lo que va a pasar es que si te vuelven a llegar con otro componente que todavía hay calor, vamos a abrir las puertas del camino.
Here in the middle sequence.
Porque el frío.
So we're restructuring on the 159 and 160 funds to Kedusha and 161. Following the Kedusha, the individual Amida continues through page 166. completing and finishing up our vows, we turn into the detailed amendments on page 167. You can stand or sit according to your essay. 167. We can make the action thereof. Standing, we can be seated for a moment. I don't know, I know the environmental controls are wonky, but we're a little closer there. Brad, thank you, Brad, for putting some water bottles that were in the refrigerator on the table in the back, so we can't quite, not sure why we can't get the room full, but if you need some water, there are good bottles in the back. And there are more in the room. But for now, we'll turn to our tourist service, and we'll begin with income of on page 168. Guys, we are good. Page 171 and repeat Shema and Echad after the cancer. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Our reading this morning, it comes from Parshat Pinchas. Our triennial this year picks up at the end. Our triennial will pick up for the end of a census, following a plague at the end of last week. For portion, pick up with a new census to distribute land to the tribes, and then we'll go into the sacrifices for each of the holidays. So some of this reading will feel quite familiar to anyone who's read a Naftir on any of the holidays or Rosh Hashanah. You can follow along with our readers this morning, Rabbi Grossman, Michael Tao, David Gravner, and Alan Seaman reading for us this morning. You can follow along with them beginning your Etz Chaim Chumash on page 924, Numbers chapter 26, beginning at verse 52. Yeah,
Our second only on is on page 924, verse 56.
Baruch et Adonai Haborah. Baruch Adonai Elohim melech haolam. Asher baruch Rabban mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Adonai notein haTorah. Baruch Adonai Elohim melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet. V'kayed olam nata. V'chinu Baruch Adonai notein haTorah.
Our third only on page 925, verse.
Ai, guarda, ma vino mi tocca, so sei, quando la tua tocca te, sei tocca c'è, la tua vita è, Adonai.
Before we continue to our fourth aliyah, I invite us to rise, we offer an El Malay Rachamim, a prayer of memory, for today, your grandmother. And you're also acting in today as shlicha for Jerry Peel, who joins us online, who in a couple of days will be observing the yard site of his father, William Peel. So we offer an El Malay Rachamim memory of William Peel and the Rose Person. El Malay Rachamim Shofei Vadovim Tereo Palapona Chapatan Pehashina the Melo Floshim Sorry Zarakia Masimay and the Shmot Razoi Pat Yaakov Alina the Edel Ben Eliezer Shaful Olamam the Ganelet Zimil Patam Anabal Harotatim as the Rehan has taken up the Hadu Ulamim withdraw we need to be sure they have and I have not got Tom the Elizabeth Shalom we should take them Every William Peel and the Rose Department would be for blessing the best of them and live on for each of you and the memories and the values of taught directly from father to son to here or through the generations. Their memories be for a blessing and it's all bound up in God's we did fourth aliyah.
Our fourth aliyah may be found page 927 verse.
Elohim melech haolam, asher b'charanim b'chol ha'amin, v'natan leTorato, baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Adonai and Selemor, and the Lord of God, for Ahalim, Ahem, Akubah, Ahalah, for Ahem, Baharai, Akubah, Ahem, Yabnei, Israel, for Yamu, Ahem, Lord, Ahem, Akalah, Akubah, Rito, Lo, Ma, Nakato, Reha, Lo, Fi, Nakato, Rahi, Afi, Afi, Nakato, Pero, Akaro, Reda, Akto, Well, Fatima, there, Adonai, Moshe, like, I am Moshe, Ale, Hari, there, where, Ale, Asher, Nataki, Israel, Raika, Ota, Elaneha, Ata, Asher, Nesa, Aronatita, Asher, and he starts me. Haida, behind and the great man,
Baruch atah Adonai, Elohim melech haolam, asher natan לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נתן אלוהים. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Fifth, only on maybe on page 928, verse 15. Find out there, Moshe, Adonai, Emor, Yisod, Adonai, Elohe, O, Ru, Atar, Avaredan, Asher Yeshvei, B'neihem, Asher Yavo, B'neihem, Asher Yodem, Him, Yeh, Adonai, Ahazon, Asher Yimah, Yoel, Yomer Adonai, El Moshe, Adonai, Yehoshua, Binu, O, Ata, Etata, Allah, Ata, Oso, Me, Ata, Hakohen, Me, Ai, Oso, Remehem, Ata, 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 Yata, Yishu, Adat, Yisrael, Meod, King, Yamo, Talo, Tali, I, Yalti, Yabo, Every photo I got, Fire, Moses, Asher, Adonai, Lord, I take the shoe, and they who say, I don't mean, they I die. Oh, yes, Yada, Allah, they will not share with their eyes. They are Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נתן בברכנו. Baruch atah Adonai נותן השראה.
For you, today I will also here offer a Mishabera for the holy and a prayer for healing for all those who are in need of healing of body or of spirit. I'll invite any who have someone for whom you're praying to rise. I'll make my way around the room during the pause to invite the names, Hebrew or English or whatever language is most appropriate. Mishabera kavatin wakahanim spati Yaakov ve'inotin asar karatadolea. Holy Spirit, holy. online, going to pray with us. Eliezer ben Makabela of Israel, we Moshe the Yitzhak seal Barachiel, Errol ben Louise, Miriam and Nina but Shoshana Leah, Josari ben Paisara, Hannah but Sarah ben David, Idalea but Perla ben David, Raphael ben Yanethel ben Abraham, Midotova ben Yanethel ben Abraham, Chaim ben Esther ben Abraham, Sargitol but Sheva ben Gudali, Dina Bracha but Malka, Moshe ben Freda ben David, Rita Paul, Yosef ben Ruth, the Chaim Zvi, Nathan the Sarah, then Sarah the Abraham, Sarah Rivka, but Yehuda, the Yehudit, David, the David, Daniel Smith, Alexander. Hakadosh, Baruch Hu Rachamim, Aleichem, Hakadim, Hamlera, Hotam, Vayishlach Lehem Meira. The report that means the report that will be Doksha Olim Lake Etyade House in the Sort, I am Shabbat in the Kurkura, Kabola, Hasta, Bahala, with my career, and our and let us say, the Holy One mercifully restore all those in need of healing to help. Be seated and continue with our 6th.
Page 929, verse 1. And it's for my need of me, prayer for me. Do not please me, Lord, Yamaka, and then I said, I care, but we do not die. But we cannot see, I know, Latami, if I can't step Care, if I could especially say the Harvard, but the reading I so that to your heart, the reality for each day Adonai. For the party, much of it, also the power Adonai. Oh, I said, no, Hashabah, the Pasi, Mekana, there is only so that we are without Hashem and we saw the Shabbat. Oh, Shalom, Our 7th Holiday meeting is found on page 931, verse 11.
Today mark March 9, the Ayah today Shana, Sivat, Vim, Mutlosha, Esroni. So let me come in love, Hashem, the Father, which they Esroni. So let me come in love, Hashem, the Ayah God. Isaro. So let me come in love, Hashem, Bakar, Ola, Reyan, Nikor, Ishel Adonai, This Hati Yelabor, Ushli, Ahim, Le'ayim, Rivi, Kahim, Rekedes, Yaim, Zo, Vlad Kodesh, the Kadisho, the Kadishay, Hashana, the Derbizim, Echad, the Katat, Ladonai, Al-Olah, Katami, Yeaseh, Yeisah.
He's right.
After all, yeah, may also be found in page 931, verse 11. So let me come in love Hashem and the heart of God, which maketh Roni. So let me come in love Hashem and the isle of God. Isaro, Isaro. So let me come in love Hashem and the heavens of God. Ola, Reach, Nikoach. Shall Adonai, it is Kehed, Hatzihahi, Yelabahar, Ushlishi, Ahim Ayil, Ubi, Ahi, the Keves Yahim, so Ola, Kodesh, Dechadishtei Hashana, Usergizim Echad, Lechakad Ladonai, Alola, Hakami, Yeaseh, Denisra.
Right, with lifting and dressing for sacred. Invite those who have had an aliyah participated in our Torah service this morning to remain standing for a Mishavera. Others are welcome to speak. Seated. You may not have realized it, but last week we left behind for the remainder of the year, pasta roast that had to do with the Torah portion of the day. It's a little bit of a connection of zealotry with God, and being against idol worship, but we have now moved into the three pasta roasts of rebuke. The pasta roast is during the 3 weeks between the fast of the 17th Tammuz that I spoke about last week. It was on a Tuesday, and the fast of Shabbat coming up in just over 2 weeks on Tuesday. Incidentally, 3 weeks are in fact 3 weeks apart. And so we will now enter into for 3 weeks a series of pastoros of rebuke from Jeremiah. And so you can follow along with the very beginning of the book of Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 1, and you can follow along with him in your class beginning on page 968.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nevim tovim, v'ratzah b'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai Abocher b'Torah Moshe Avdo u'Yisrael Amo u'B'neviyei Haemet Milvat Tzedek Divrei Yirmiyahu ben Hilkiyahu min haKohanim asher ba'anato Be'eretz Binyamin, Asher Hayad Bar Adonai Elav, Bimei Yoshiyahu ben Amon melech Yehuda, Bishosh Esrei Shana L'moto, Vayehi Ime Yoyakim ben Yoshiyahu Melech Yehuda. Aton Moshe Shana. Tzidkiyahu ben Yoshiyahu Melech Yehuda. Adonai Yerushalayim Bakoresh HaChamishim. Vayhi Dvar Adonai Lemor. B'terem et Zoracha v'aseter midaticha. B'terem Eitzei Meirachem Ikashticha. Ravi Vagoyim Nitzaticha. Adonai Elohim, Ine Moyadati Daber, Nahar Anochim, Vayomer Adonai Elai, Al Tomar Nahar Anochim, Ki Al Asher Eshlachah Teleh Ve'en Al Asher Hatzavachah Telaber Al Tira Mipnehem Yitzhak Ani V'Hatzilanu Adonai Vayishlach Adonai et Yado Vayaga Alpi Vayomer Adonai Elai Ine Natati Dvarai B'Picha Le'en Hikadticha Hayom Hazeh Al Adorim Yahamahu Lintosh Ulintos Ulha'avid Laharos Lintot Lintoah Vayhi Dvar Adonai Elai Lemor Ma'atar Yirmiyahu Makero Shakira Niroer, Mayomer Adonai, Elai Hitapam Lero, Shukera Randi, Avnari Lasoto. Vayhi Dvar Adonai Elai Sheni Lemor Ma'atar Lo'er Ma'umar Fear not what Ani Roer Walav Minlei Sotona Ayomer Adonai Elai Yitzhakol Al Yushvei Haaretz Idni Toreh Lo Mishpechot Malchut Taponan Umariyai The afternoon, Ish Kispo, Eta Sharei Yerushalayim, Me'al Ta'asabi, Me'al Yehuda. The Divarti Mishpatai Otam, Al-Mu'atam, Asher Azadu, Ayakatu, Elohim, Vahirim, Aishtachavu, Maaseh Yedehem, Neata Denzon Motneka, the Cantor, the Marta, I am. For my share on the fiat Sabeca, I'll pay hard to keep in the hand, and I keep the heart with the hand. La irmitzar, ulahamut bardam, ulahamut lechoshel kohare, lemalchei udav sarecha, lekohanah ulaham haaretz, leilhamu elam v'yulah. He is the honey, little Madonai Lahatilaka. I eat the Madonai, my lemur. Hello, the Rata. The Aznei Kishalayim, lemur. Oh, Amar Adonai, Dochati Lach, Esed Nimrai, Ahatu Lotai, Lete Aparai, Bamipar, the Eretz Lozua, Kodesh Israel Adonai, Reshit Tuato, Okolam Yeshamu, Raham, Tavo Alehem, Ne'um Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu olam, kol ha'olamim, tzadik b'kol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer v'chotzeh, ha'medaber u'mekayim, shekol devarav b'mekad tzedek. Ne'eman atah Adonai Eloheinu, v'ne'emani devarecha. Davar echad midevarecha, achol yeshreikam, ki el melech ne'eman v'rachamon ata, baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ne'eman v'chol devarav. Rachem al Tzion ki beit chayenu, v'la'alu nefesh Toshiach b'meira miyameinu. Baruch atah Adonai, v'samech Tzion v'vanecha, samecheinu Adonai Eloheinu, v'Eliyahu hanavi avdecha, u'malchut beit David v'shichecha, b'meira yavo v'yagel libeinu, al kis'olo yeshazar, V'lo yifadu ol akelim et kibodo, ki b'shem kod shamar nishpatalo, shalo yifer nero le'olam va'et, baruch atah Adonai, Magen David. Al haTorah v'al avodah v'al nevi'im, v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, l'kedusha v'lemenucha, l'chavod v'l'tifareh, al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modin la'ah, v'marachim otah, yitbarach shemcha b'fi kol ha'et tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Kadesh Hashabbat
And return now to our prayer books for Yakum Purkan on page 176. Into a prayer for our country, page 177 in the English. And question. Okay. And security, happiness and freedom, ever are our land. My God, spirit is unloved creatures. We pray that your spirit be awakened and uproot our hearts, hatred and malice, jealous, hidden strife, and love and companionship on the many peoples of faith that dwell in our nation. Grant us knowledge, justly, wisdom to act with compassion, the understanding and courage to root out poverty in our land. May it be your will, our land give blessings to dwell on earth, and we may cause full dwell in friendship and freedom. Italy, fill the vision of your prophet. Nation, not lift up sword against nation, but shall they learn anymore. All of them, peace with them, the grace, so moving, and let us say, Amen. So prayer for the state of Israel, page 178 in the Hebrew.
Dina Shabbat July, Lord Israel, Hakabalah, Oreth at Midinat Israel, Reshit Smikat, Latin, Again Allah, the Cross of Stepha, Rost Allah, Smikat, Shlamaha, Orethak, Yamita, Rasheva, Laraha, Yavasaha, Namin, the Hitzan, Kobam, Yavasaha, Andre, the Ide, Earth was seen, and to them that are meeting Yeshua. Terra is upon Sachin, the Natata Shalom Bahar, Team Pat Shalom, the Staff, the Mark, Sunday.
Turn to page 181 and onto 182 for, no, we'll do Pittsburgh. But we'll turn to a prayer for the soldiers of the IDF. They protected and made the war be protected safely and just.
May one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, I have blessed soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces. They're standing guard upon our land and the cities of our God, on land, the air, and at sea. May God place obstacles before the enemies that fight against them. May the blessed Holy One guard and rescue our soldiers from all trouble and distress, affliction and illness, and blessing and success in all the worthy work of their hands. May it be God's will to plant good counsel in the hearts of all leaders of the state. They may know how to conduct the nation with understanding, fairness, and wisdom. Merit over heart and peace, return full with life and peace. Let's say, Amen.
And do a prayer for the release of the hostages. Israel, I work. We're given to hard times, sorrow and captivity. Can we speak the waters and we speak right? We are Okay, page 181 for responsive chanting of Ashrei. We have a manual come up on the cancers that microphone. Can you feel it? Okay. Follow page 181 and on 182.
Ashrei Teka Odia Lupa Seva.
Ashrei Ashrei Ashrei
Sigi Baba David Armin Fado Hai Hamala Probar Party Fado Lambaet.
Ve'oi Amavarteka Ve'alati Ve'alati
Dollar Bank Lama Od Budik Lato in Faker.
Door the door Shabbat
On dark photo grandpa, when you train go I see call. Take care of you, call your view. The tea cuts a call your on a new. Over the night of over, from Hava
You do I call myself up, if I see that I ever go back.
to Boma to call your neighbor. Raja call you the Hebrew.
Leo Dieli me Hazam Yurota, Lord Hadar Malkuto.
From Kulami, Mam shut the call door, Vador.
So may harness son of thee, is okay for all have to be.
And they call the price of Hebrew. They'll tell him as a Plumbito.
So say after Yadama, must be able to hold pirates of
Somebody can never call their alcohol. We can see them from ourselves. Fritz and Jerry of y'all said, the extra time he's not your king. When you got to know, like you know, baby. The breath of us searching for truth, level on fire.
But, all right, page 183 and to 184 to return our sacred Torah to the earth. Yes, I was the keep on the night, you stop, there's no puzzle. Steven? We're gonna go on a little bit of a journey today with me. You're gonna bear with me. We're not staying just in our Torah portion. But first I want to ask, what is the purpose of a census? In 2010, I got to be a census taker, which meant that I got to go knock on the doors of the people who never mailed back in their paperwork and ask them the questions on the census. Usually, it's how many people live in this house? How old are they? What are their genders or sexes? Why? What is the purpose of a census? There are a few purposes. Representation. In the case of the United States Census, it's in the Constitution every 10 years, as it determines how many representatives each state gets in the House of Representatives. Another purpose for census. Offering social services. Okay, other purposes of censi. Sure. Taxes, yes. Determining electoral votes, right? Okay, so we're all thinking U.S. Census. There are also a few censi in our Torah. I also like to just get to say censi. So a few censi in our Torah. Some are to figure out how many soldiers we have. And the one in our Torah portion claims to be about determining how much land each tribe will get once they actually get into the land of Israel, or approaching that moment toward the end of the Torah. And yet, the tribe of Levi is included. And you might be looking and be like, Rabbi, why is that a problem? Does anyone know why that's a problem? Or ladies, I don't know why it's a problem. The ladies don't get land. Sorry, Michael, sorry, I love it. The ladies don't get land. The ladies are not assigned a portion of ancestral land because they are going to be taking care of the temple. This is also true for the Kohanim. So sorry, Eric, Carol. This is also true for the Kohanim, because the Kohanim are amongst the tribe of Levi. There is no actual purpose in this particular census. It's supposed to be about land for including the tribe of Levi. Which means I think this census serves a different purpose. But before we get to the actual piece of this census, I want to go, it can help us look at the journey as to why. And it requires us to go all the way back to Exodus chapter 2, verse 1. If you want to grab your Chumash and follow along with me, you can. Exodus chapter 2, verse 1. Got the water before, spill it everywhere. Which will be on page 321. a certain man of the house of Levi went and married a Levite woman. The woman conceived and bore a son. Now I'm on 332. When she saw how beautiful he was, she hid him for 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she got a wicker basket for him and caulked it with bitumen and pitch. She put the child into it in a place to it among the reeds by the bank of the Nile. And his sister stationed herself at a distance to learn what would befall him. The daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe in the Nile while her maidens walked along the Nile. She spied the basket amongst the reeds and sent her slave girl to fetch it. When she opened it, she saw that it was a child, a boy crying. She took pity on it and said, "This must be a Hebrew child." Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and get you a Hebrew nurse to suckle this child for you?" And Pharaoh's daughter answered, "Yes." So the girl went and called the child's mother. The Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse it for me. I will pay your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed it. When the child grew up, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, who made him her son, and she named him Moses, claiming, "I drew him out of the water." How many names did I get? One. How many people did we just see in the story? About six. Wasn't really. About six. We have Emmanuel. About yeah, sure. About six. Who do we have? We have a certain Levite man who married a Levite woman who had a baby, which that's the one that's named eventually at the end. His sister, the daughter of Pharaoh, and the slave girl who pulls the baby from the water for the daughter of Pharaoh. Pharaoh, by the way, is a title, not a name. We have the name Levi here, but it's very clearly referring to the tribe of Levi, not the person. So now we have just one name. Holding that for a moment. Okay, now jump forward again. Now we're going to go to Exodus chapter 6, verse 20. Which is on page 355. Amram took to wife his father's sister Yocheved. She bore him Aaron and Moses. Span of Amram's life was 137. We can now name two of the people in the previous story. Because we already know Moses and Moses, so now what is the name of the certain Levite man? Amram, and the certain Levite woman, Yocheved. Okay. And now we have Aaron, who is missing from this verse. His sister. We don't know her name. Miriam, his sister. One more time with me, jump ahead. Now to Exodus chapter 15 and verse 20. It's on page 412. Then Miriam the prophetess, Aaron's sister, took a timbrel in her hand, and the women went out after her in dance and in timbrels. So why does this moment say just Aaron's sister and not Aaron and Moses' sister? There's plenty of commentaries on that. My sister spoke about Passover. But now we can, because we have, again, back in chapter 6, verse 20, we saw Aaron and Moses, and if this is Miriam is Aaron's sister, now we have all 5 names of this name. We don't know that there is another sister that's not named, I suppose. But our commentaries do not like to leave unnamed people, so we have to assume that his sister from the beginning, that we're all tying it together. We also saw in Bishallah, or in Balotha, in Balotha about a month or so ago, we saw Aaron and Miriam having a conversation about Moses in the way that only siblings can. Okay, now let's go to today's story. Go to Numbers chapter 26, verse 15. Which is on page 925. 925. the time will be at the first birth on the page, number 59. The name of Amram's wife was Yocheved, daughter of Levi, who was born to Levi in Egypt. She bore to Amram, Aaron, and Moses, now, and their sister Miriam. This verse that I just read is a part of the census and the census of Levi. Again, who doesn't get land, which means there's a different purpose, I think, for this particular census. When I was trying to go through the commentaries to find why the extra, perhaps extra word of Achotam, their sister Miriam. All of the commentaries I could find on this verse focused on what do we mean Yocheved was born in Egypt, which is a fascinating series of commentaries to go down. But I found myself wondering, the Torah has no superfluous word. Every word in the Torah is there for a reason. And yet, in this verse, if you were to read it as name of Amram's wife as Yocheved, daughter of Levi, who was born to Levi in Egypt, she bore to Amram, Aaron, and Moses, and Miriam. But the meaning of this sentence had changed at all if I took out and their sister, or their sister, Achotel. And it still remains true that Yocheved bore Aaron and Moses and Miriam. So why the word Achotel? Why the word their sister Miriam? So Harlan, I think that speaks a little bit, perhaps a little more to the moment at the end of the Shirah Hayam in Exodus chapter 15, where she's identified as just Achot Aharon, just Aaron's sister. Harlan points out Moses didn't grow up with them. That Aaron and Miriam perhaps had a different kind of sibling relationship with one another than they would have had with Moses, regardless of the fact that biologically he is their brother. David? These seem to be out of order. Miriam is the oldest, or at the very least is older than Moshe. I don't know for sure if she's the oldest, but we do know that she must be older than Moshe because he's a baby and she's old enough to go walk along the water and converse with Pharaoh's daughter. So at minimum, Miriam is older than Moshe, so it seems to be out of order. Well, but here it says she did bear to him. But perhaps she said, perhaps. And right. Perhaps Achotam here is the call back to that first story that they just that moment that she, regardless of whether they grow to have a sibling relationship, she acts as an older sister to the baby Moshe. Aaron and then right, and so, and actually in modern Hebrew too, both can mean one's sister, like a biological sister, but it can mean nurse, and perhaps you're taking care of. But I think it's still, it seems pretty clear in this verse that it's still, she is Yocheved's daughter. Because this verse says, in the Hebrew, Vatele Amram, and she, Yocheved, or Amram, et Aharon, the et Moshe, the et Miriam Achotam. That is very, each of these each of them is part of the Vatele Amram that she bore for Amram. So I think here, not necessarily, she's not really a caretaker, she really is biologically their sister. And I think here we finally see all their names and we finally see an acknowledgement of her being their sister and a connection. Because I think that the purpose of this census is to remind us of where we started and where we got to. which I think actually should also then give hope to the future. And here I quote, at least in part, a draft that I heard from Rabbi Dr. Dan Urbach during the Rabbinic Training Institute, a program run by JTS back in January. In that first story, I pointed out how many names did we have in those first verses of Exodus? Just Moshe. And yet, was he the most influential piece of that story? He didn't move the action at all. He was the object in that story. He was a human object, but he was the object in that story as a baby. The influential people weren't yet named. But because of Yocheved's bravery to hold up, remember the context of this moment, the start of the second chapter of Exodus, they're living as slaves under a regime that says all baby males are to be killed upon birth. And yet Yocheved has the bravery to hide him for as long as she possibly can, or the Levites don't have her name. And this baby's sister had the bravery to approach the daughter of the very person who said that all the baby males should die, and say, let me help you help this child survive. And Pharaoh's daughter had the bravery to take him in. All of them cause the action that makes it possible for forward movement out of that moment of dire reality to occur. And no one even knows who they are yet. No one even knows what they're there. It is not until 4 chapters later we learn the name of the woman who had the bravery to hide this baby. We don't see the name of the sister who had this bravery to care for the brother and then partner with him, despite the fact that we mentioned her other brother, in bringing the people actually out into the lane. But here in the review, now we know their names. In the moments in history, we have figured out whose stories helped us move from slavery to redemption. I think should give us hope in moments we feel in our own lives, where I quote Rabbi Urbach, this is where we should feel hope in our own lives, when we feel like the world at large is so dire that we might feel like an enslaved people. There probably already are. Some of them may be ourselves, who are working as the change makers, and who are having the moments of bravery on the small level that will make the eventual redemption possible. And only later we get to know their names. I also hope it gives us hope that is possible, and I hope it gives us inspiration and courage to recognize, even if we think we're small, who was this woman? She was just a daughter of the tribe of Levi, a tribe that eventually would be the caretakers of the holiest space in our people. But in that moment, just one of many slaves from the tribe of Levi. She was a nobody, but her bravery made redemption possible. And we didn't even know her name until later. So may we find hope that there are people who are making changes to make our world a better place, always in our tradition, striving for making the world better than it is right now. And may we recognize that even if we feel like a nobody, perhaps we will be the ones who are someday named as the ones who did it. We notice in the center of this verse, and in the center of all the commentaries, the center is not Amram. He just happens to be related to the influential people. Even though normally when you list a family, the patriarch is the one who should be considered most influential. But he's not even the center of this verse. The name of Amram's wife was Yocheved. And here are his children, here are her children that she bore forth. Moments in history, may we be the one, may we recognize that there are people to come in history. May we recognize that we should never feel so small that we cannot be the ones who will change. Shabbat Shalom. And invite us to return to our prayer books. We write on page 184, we touch before the end of the Answer on me to the opening blessings of our Musaf Amidah, page 185 and 186. And we'll join in responding to the Kedusha on page 187, following the Kedusha, individual Shabbat Musaf Amidah runs from page 185 to 192, passing over the Kedusha individual recitation. Again on 185. So that means bring your individual was up on that, and we continue to do so. I think we should do cathedral name on page 203. Stand and sit according to your custom. On top of that, a long time, but now they're walking around there. The ball was on the laser, but on the holy traveling around there. The fighting on his place, traveling around there. Oh, shalom, be rolled. Gloria, shalom. Aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'yimeru ba'aleh. Kenny, you're welcome to be seated. It's my pleasure to get the call. You asked this morning, and so I get to call him up. Yes, Eleazar Dunn is going to lead us in Pelopino on page 204. Not a kind of chocolate. But their first time. Gotcha, go up. Also really good to see the pride on your brother's face. I'll invite us to rise. We turn to Elena on page 205 and on to this. Seated. Parents, we have each of those mourners cottage. We ask that God grant that the memories of those who've gone before us be a source of strength for us, for everyone in the house of Israel. May the souls of our departed find peace and God's shelter and care. May we all be blessed with peace, tranquility, and fullness of life. We, as congregation, remember the yard sites. Rose Grossman, William Teal, Freda Morris, Hilton Valesky, Eugene Kaufman, Clara Shulman Fishman, William Blessing, and Bernard Beatty. Invite all who are in mourning, living their faith, when it's their custom to do so, to rise, because we each have told one Scottish States 207. Kadal, the Kadan, the May, Rabbi, Be'alma, Vibra, Birute, Be'amri, Pampute, the Kaye Phone, the Udiome Phone, the Kaye, the Obey Israel, Ba'agala, Uzman, Kari, Be'ibru, Amen. Ye'et, May, Rabba, Bevara, Le'oba, Le'abaya. Yitbara, Be'itaba, Be'itba'ar, Be'itramam, Be'itnase, Be'itadar, Be'itale, Be'italau, Shmei, Kudisha, Be'itku. Be'ela, Minko, Birkata, Shirata. Tush Befata, Venetamata, Da'amiran, Be'oma, Be'ibru, Amen. Behej, Mama, Rava, Shemaya, the Chaim, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Be'ibru, Amen. Osei Shalom, Be'rama, Huria, Asei Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Be'ibru, Amen. One great peace in heaven, and peace to us, to all Israel, and to all who seated. My pleasure, Florence, calling the chair of our religious committee, Alan Dean, who will share some announcements of upcoming happenings.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you to everyone who joined us online and in person. Thank you to Cheryl Gillette for putting out the Kiddush this morning. The Kiddush is sponsored by Ellen and Sheldon Gassior in honor of their visit to Shalom, also in honor of Eric's birthday. Is it today or? Don't let us come out. Following the Kiddush, enjoy board games with the chosen people. Anybody who would like to play board games, please join us. Next Shabbat, Friday night and Saturday morning services will be online and in person. Our Mahjong group meets on Sunday, August 4th, from 2 to 4 p.m. at Shalom. This group is geared to beginners and advanced beginners. If you have never played, haven't played much, or don't feel confident in playing at the pace of more experienced players, please join us. Tisha B'Av services are as follows. Last year, we did not have a minion for Shah, so making a plea. The services are on 8:15 on Monday night, August 12th, at 9 a.m. and at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, August 13th. The minion will only count if you're in person, however, services will be online as well. On August 25th at 2 p.m., come and enjoy our 4th annual barbecue bash. Music, food, games, tastings, and more. For your adults only, enhance your barbecue experience with a small group whiskey tasting by the First Israeli Distillery, Milk and Honey. Those members of the Shalom, if you notice in your email, we got an email starting the beginning of our sound system campaign. As you have seen today, we have a lot of problems with our sound system. Please refer to that email and consider making a lovely donation so we can get our sound system in place by the high holidays. There you go, 75% we're done, we need 25% more. Nice. You can always check out these and other programs at our website at www.beth-shalom.net. After Shabbat, please take a moment to follow and like that Shalom on Facebook and Instagram and share with your friends and network. Shabbat Shalom. Yes. What she said.
at lunch, it's warm in here. It's
Yeah.
cooler in the social hall. We'll see, happy birthday and for now, let's go to Adon Alum on page 211. I don't know how much they're about, but terrible, it's in the problem. Yeah, that's the problem, time, that left them moving back. Yeah, I think it's what I call the buzzer, you love the rocket, the way out there, the program, and we are the fire. Do that for me, baby, I'm she low, that I'm be wrong. Even she belly top, leave the low, I was the honey strong. The way even I call it, so much day. Easy, I no sleeping, I put see the young and a rock. They are so easy to see the 18 and I rock. Even me and the other, the rock. Alright, next week, Tuesday, 77. Neshanu b'nei Yisrael, v'etz Hashem, לעשות את השבת, ורצון בביטחון, איני יורד בני ישראל, אותי לאור. בני ישראל, אותי לאור. ישי בניאתי, ערדו די. And I shall not hear that silence. My own city, my own city, my own city, the big version of Gabriel, by Kaddish Shagus, the big Haverai, I don't know how I know people, so break free of the Brothers are marrying the land. The chick showers of the farm, all the year, I get that evening. Shabbat Shalom, good to see everyone in the room and on Zoom. Thank you again to Eric and his family for sponsoring today's celebrate our truth. Shabbat Shalom.